we've talked about features we want in Planet Coaster 2. We've talked about switch tracks. In the last video, I even made a water park. But now let's get down to the main thing we all want. The main feature of Planet Coaster. Coasters. Rides. The actual rides in the game. What rides do we want to see in Planet Coaster 2? I put together my own little list of rides that I would like to see in the game, but also I've included in that list some things that I've seen you guys comment about in some of my previous videos comments. So I've noted them all down into one big list, and let's rapid fire through the list of rides we would all love to see in Planet Coaster 2. First up, a generic Wild Mouse, probably one of the world's most common roller coasters. Don't quote me on that. Some sort of standard family sit-down roller coaster like Gold Rush, which opened today at Drayton Manor. But when I say this is standard, Gold Rush is actually a very weird ride. It does like forwards and backwards and a bunch of switch tracks. Switch tracks we've already spoken about. What I mean by standard though is essentially just a very plain ride vehicle, just standard rows of seats. Something that's very plain allows us to do loads of things with it. A standard sit-down thrill coaster, maybe something like Colossus at Thorpe Park. You know, just these generic types of rides that aren't coated in theming, and it allows us to do so much more with it. Powered coasters, because like I said in my last video, I need to recreate the flying fish. Don't ask why, I just need to recreate it. A super splash like Tidal Wave at Thorpe Park. 4D cinemas with 4D effects. Flying theatres, maybe you could have 2 of them or 3 of them, and the same queue line can be split off to each individual theatre that you can place down. Omnimover buggy style dark rides, please, please. I'm not asking, I'm begging. The next note I made just says the word Cheer Pass, so please just add Cheer Pass. The Ride to Happiness, Voltron the Vera. In fact, just add the whole Mack catalogue. In fact, just add the whole of Europa Park. There are some rides in Planet Coaster 1 that I think are just completely unusable, like the Tower of Terror they added to the game, which can only run a singular lift. Simulator rides like Minion Mayhem or even like Star Tours at Disney. Trick track coasters like Gringotts or like 13 or Windjass. But also, on this topic, in the same way you've got these massive screens here that you can put in, give us like curved ones, you know, for the flying theatre type rides, or Gringotts where the ride vehicle moves in to a screen-based area. A suspended family coaster, a family boomerang coaster, an X-car coaster like Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket, regular slow-moving family boat rides. It's good to have a variety of both thrilling and family rides too. I've noted down more and improved dark rides. These are clearly the trackless dark ride vehicles, which for some reason Frontier thought that you walk up to on ground level and sort of clamber your way up into it. Trackless dark rides have raised platforms too. You don't just walk along at ground level. More drop towers that we can actually control the height of when we build it. A Vekoma Madhouse like Hex. That might be quite cool, but they would have to put in some form of mechanic where you can have pre-shows, because having a Vekoma Madhouse without any pre-shows would be pretty naff. An Intamin Accelerator roller coaster that can actually launch out of the station. You may or may not be aware of this, but the launch coasters in the game have to sort of shuffle forward. Yes, accelerator coasters do sort of shuffle forward just a little bit in real life to latch onto the launch mechanism, but they certainly don't go that far out the station. New monorails that aren't absolutely enormous. A little monorail like this might be quite charming to add to your theme park, like the Safari Skyway used to be at Chessington, or even like a pedal-powered monorail. A splash battle, a top scan, a swan boats. Now let's stop for a second to talk about some of the best roller coasters in the world. This is Fly at Phantasialand, and it's a new generation flying coaster by Vekoma. And this is Taron, also at Phantasialand, and is an Intamin LSM launch roller coaster. Both of these roller coasters are my favourite rides in the whole entire world, and if I could build those in Planet Coaster, my life might be complete. An LIM launch coaster, a bobsleigh coaster. Funny that I'm literally using pictures from a theme park game released 2 decades ago, over 2 decades ago. Talking about features that should be added to a game in 2024. An improved pirate ship that doesn't have all of this jargon at the bottom. It seems like Frontier are moving towards letting us decide what theming goes on a flat ride. So I'm hoping that the flat rides and all of the rides, for example, are pretty vanilla. You know, we can decide how they look rather than forcing us with this wooden platformy staircase thing at the base of it. Because you might not want the base of your ride to look like that. Honestly, I've said it before and I'll say it again. These 2 things need to be improved because my god does it just rattle me. Improvements to the log flume and improvements to the rapids ride will make me very, very happy. Giving us a turntable station or a continuous moving conveyor belt that allows the boats to continuously move and not stop. And also just to lift out of the water. The fact that the water's still flowing through the station, you know, they should be lifted out of the water. Right, I realise I'm massively nitpicking here. I really am, aren't I? I am. Let's end the video. I realise there's probably a lot of rides that I've missed, but let's just go with this list for now because that's what my mind came up with. If Frontier don't add all of these rides to Planet Coaster 2, then I will be writing a heavily worded letter and sending it by a carrier pigeon. Good day.